We're live. Robert J. Conley. I'm here to show the way. Come on in. Pull up a chair. Pour yourself a cream soda. All right. In this video, I will frame a powerful way to approach purpose. And this matters because a sense of purpose equals life. Literally. Purpose is a funny thing. I submit that most people are operating from their purpose most of the time. They just don't realize it. And I'll give you a quick example. Picture, I've come to believe almost every company has one of these people, and I love them. The woman in the accounting department who always remembers everyone's birthday and makes sure that it's celebrated. Now, is that anywhere in her job description? Nope. But when we start examining her life, odds are we're going to see that she does that in every part of it, that she goes out of her way to make sure others are included, that they feel welcome. And we'd say that she has the gift of hospitality. And, I would say her purpose is, we could call it, her purpose is inclusion, it's welcoming, it's hospitality. And it has nothing to do with her job description. So let's look at this job element a little bit more. One of the ways that we can slip into believing that our job is our purpose is thinking the satisfaction we're deriving is the sole indicator. And so like people who hate their jobs know that it's not their purpose. People that love their jobs might be lulled into thinking it is their purpose, but it's not. And it's only when the particular job goes away that this faulty assumption can be revealed for many people. And they will think they've lost their purpose, or at minimum, they've lost their sense of purpose. So a way to start looking at purpose is, first of all, by what it isn't. Studies show that you'll have high job satisfaction if your job aligns with your temperament, your aptitudes, your interests, your values. However, that won't fully flesh out your purpose. As I said, your purpose isn't to be an accountant or a doctor, secretary, a tunneling machine operator. Even though you might be loving that job, your purpose transcends your job description. If you're a doctor, your purpose could be the healer, it could be innovator, it could be inventor. An accountant, if you're an auditor, your job could be accuracy. If you're a tax accountant, your job could be creativity. Your purpose could be creativity. A secretary's guiding purpose, it's probably organizer. Tunnel operator, a good purpose would be safety, someone who's committed to safety. So failing to realize this can have painful consequences when all of a sudden that job changes or goes away, and we think that job was our purpose. And I think if you just back up and look at those, adding those other words, you can see the chance for a different experience. So I want to use an extreme example to illustrate what I mean. A recent HBO documentary called The Weight of Gold explores the mental health challenges that Olympic athletes often face. And one of the things that they pointed out was that half a dozen American Olympians have committed suicide in the last 5 years. Michael Phelps, who has won 23 gold medals and something like 28 medals overall, has been public in sharing his own challenges. And he was actually interviewed, and in the program, he said that he thinks that at least 80% of Olympians go through some sort of a post-Olympics depression. I would think every one of them may not technically be in a depression, but there is a coming down from that experience. So, um, anyway, several Olympians shared their experiences with depression, and in my opinion, overwhelmingly, it comes down to losing a sense of purpose. Now, 99.99% of people will never come close to what an Olympic athlete endures for the sake of his or her sport. However, using them as examples can be illustrative. The experience of Olympians offers us an opportunity to see this extreme example. You know, with Olympians, they by the time you're considered for the Olympic team, you've already been through enough hurdles to prove that you have the physical goods. So it's not an issue of physical attributes. Their success now is all about mental toughness. It's about fortitude. Who can train the hardest? Who can say no to the most distractions? Who can be in peak performance mindset on the day of the competition? And the motto of the Olympics is faster, higher, stronger. And getting there is about overcoming the limitations of the mind. So, but here's the rub. Barring enlightenment, winning a gold medal becomes the purpose of that person's life. The reality is it's just another job. And I don't mean that disparagingly or disrespectfully or minimizing it any way. Um, and also for most athletes, it appears to fill those baskets of being aligned with temperament, aptitudes, interests, and values. And so, they go all in on their jobs as many mortals do. Basically, the CEO of Fortune 500 company, while not as not physically stressful in the same way, but someone reaching those heights also has gone all in to an Olympian level. So the details might be different, but the complete fidelity to the goal is the same. So if we stay focused on the Olympians, an Olympic undertaking, it's like an attempt to climb a very, very tall, narrow, unstable ladder. And, I'm saying unstable because at any moment, an injury could wipe them out. Suddenly a new phenom showing up could wipe them out. It's a very unstable situation. Um, um, but, the thing that this lifetime of training comes down to uh, is sometimes just one event. And, in Phelps's case, he had numerous swimming events, but, it's one to a handful of events, but they're tactical events. They're battles in a bigger war. And that war that I'm referring to is the one called a long, full life. And it's never good to sacrifice winning the war for the sake of winning a tactical battle. So, it can be a great moment in your life, but it's never your purpose. And that mistake can, like I said, can have grave circumstances. And, in the Olympic situation, basically people are working so hard that they're giving everything but their life to achieve their goal of winning the Olympics. So, um, treating it as just one event, a tactical event in a bigger battle will improve your odds of having a long, happy life and not falling into deep depression. So what do we do? How does this apply? Well, Olympic athletes and us mere mortals need to stand back, and we need to stand back from our major. We need to stand back from that thing that we think is the perfect college for us to go to. Um, our job, if we have one now, whatever it is that happens to be what's going on for you in the pursuit of a metaphorical medal, and we need to broaden our understanding a purpose to see how we bring it into every element of our life. So when you see that you bring this essence to everything you do, whether it's being a spouse, a parent, a child, a student, a worker, when you can see this common thread of this essence, you're starting to see your purpose. So let's stick with the Olympics for now and just take this one more step. So let's say that a broader purpose that we could apply just in general to Olympians would be competitor. So, if you have a purpose of competitor, then how can you refocus that after the Olympics? I'm a competitor. Well, you can become a coach. You can teach others to be a competitor. You can continue to compete. I think part of the challenge too that many Olympians have is that there's just nothing that ever matches the adrenaline flow, the majesty, just the entire grandeur of the Olympics. So I don't want to be dismissive of that. But if you're in touch with this from the start and you kind of have the Olympics in its place in your life, and you say to yourself, like I said before, if I'm going all out on this, but this isn't my purpose, this isn't my whole life, I'm just giving it my very all right now in this time and place. And so, when you come back and I'm a competitor, I can teach coaching, I can sales is highly competitive. I love that. Any kind of, tactical leadership positions, or even, the really successful ones go on speaking tours and make very good livings doing that. But the reality is that even with Olympic gold medalists, very few actually turn it into like being set for the rest of their lives or something they can even do for the rest of their lives. Because every 4 years, a new set of newly minted gold medal winners come through. So seeing that, you're still going to have any transition is going to have bumps. But if you have this underlying sense of purpose and stand on that's the bedrock on which you stand. And then you can start looking at different opportunities in your life from that perspective. It's going to be a smoother transition. So where does this leave parents and teens? Well, your purpose is not to go to college. College is a tool. Your job isn't your purpose. It's an expression of your purpose. Goals aren't a purpose. They could be ways to manifest your purpose or to keep you focused on your purpose, but goals aren't your purpose either. So the thing that a lot of, that can happen is that like this a vague awareness, oh, this is my purpose. But unless you can name it and start to see it, how it threads through your whole life, it's not going to be that solid bedrock that you can stand on. Excuse me. So, parents, what I really urge you to do is don't think in terms of molding your child. Excuse me. Be an observer of your child. My son's a ferocious competitor. My son is creative as all get out. My daughter is an inventor. My other son that is a healer or is an interrogator. Oh God, that kid's always asking me questions. Start looking for these general words that describe and that you see, whether he's with his friends, with you, in school, to the best that you can see. But at any rate, just start looking for these common threads. And so rather than trying to mold your child into what you think is the perfect job, or in some cases it's as bad as, oh, it's the one I wish I had, so I'm going to make sure my son, whatever. Family business is another danger zone where, we want Junior to carry on the business, and it turns out Junior has no interest nor aptitude for it. So be a student of your child's behaviors and interests and start observing that and look for that. You're trying to bloom a seed that's already there. You're not trying to mold something that isn't there. So I want to share with you a very nice, the essence of a very nice text I got from a client today. And he was forwarding a message that he had received from his daughter. And his daughter had texted him and said, "I would like to take this time to let everyone know I got my dream job. I was hired by Albatross Designs as a welder and metal shop apprentice." Now, I've coached him over the years, and using what he's learned, he guided his daughter into seeing her purpose first. And they came up with creative. She's creative in everything she does. And it's just, you know, I love creative people. I wish I were. But at any rate, by by starting there, she could now use college as a tool to learn the different ways that she could discover her creativity and to express her creativity. So, not many people go to college to become a welder, and that's not why she did. But the end result was that she found that welding um, was the way that she's just in love with welding and loves what it can do to form sculpture and to bring about art and just to manifest her creativity. So, she started with purpose and then found the ways to go about it. All right, so that is where we're wrapping up on this video. My next video is going to be about the formulating a plan for manifesting your purpose. And if you feel like you learned from this video, please hit like. If you haven't already, please subscribe. If you benefit from this video, share it with a friend. And if you have any questions or comments, please, by all means, post them. And I read those comments and I will reply to the best of my ability. Until next time, cheers.